Dear colleagues, I would like to present our report on topic, an approach to information and communication technology skill assessment based on European e-Competence framework. Specialist competence assessment is a process of determination how they are suitable for a role for which an assessment is conducted. Role suitability is an ability to perform actions associated with this role in full and successfully. And therefore, we need to introduce special software for managing such assessments, and it's called team management software. The system should be based on certain processes of team formation, which are the object of this research. The subject, on the other hand, deals with methods and software components for team formation. The main tasks for research are listed on this slide. We start on with issues which are related to team formation processes. Next, we proceed with European e-Competence framework, ECF, and ICT Professional Role Profiles, PRP documents, which formalize roles requirements. The third step is to make a review of existing approaches with their advantages and disadvantages. After that, we suggest to use predicate logic in order to omit identified shortcomings. We continue our research with identification of software requirements for team management software and choosing appropriate architecture for the solution. Our report is concluded with analysis of test results, which were obtained with help of minimum viable product of this software. During feasibility study of our research, we identified two main issues associated with team formation process. And we also provided solution for each issue, which led to improvements to the process, so that we achieved positive results. European e-Competence framework is a document that describes 41 competences for the ICT field, and the competence is a demonstrated ability to apply knowledge and skills in order to reach observable results. Professional roles profiles, on the other hand, is a document that describes 30 typical roles performed by ICT specialists. A role is a set of responsibilities and actions performed by individual within the project. On this slide, you may see typical structure of these documents. Here we provide common approaches to skill assessment of candidates. However, these approaches are too simple and subjective. That makes them ineligible for determination whether a specialist is suitable for a role or not in real project. Consequently, the problem of assessment how an employee fits a role is not formalized and does not have a specific solution, although several methods can be partially adapted for it. Methods described here have some serious flaws since they have not been originally created to solve a problem of role suitability determination. That fact significantly affects their effectiveness. Questionnaire method is not adapted to the ECF framework, and its results do not map to the ECF competence levels, which makes it less attractive for wide usage. Moreover, this method provides assessment only for competence levels and does not aggregate them into role suitability level, which in turn makes it incomplete and usable only in pair with another method that would calculate role suitability level based on competence levels. Simple equation methods does not take into account specifics of each knowledge and skill competence pieces, which significantly decreases its objectivity and makes its application in the real world questionable. After analysis of significant disadvantages in existing methods described above, it becomes obvious that it's necessary to develop new approach that could eliminate those serious flaws in order to provide an optimal solution for the problem. This approach should be based on a comparator identification method, which should significantly increase objectivity and allow deep connection to ECF and PRP documents. Comparator identification method is a method of indirect identification, and it uses predicate logic for calculation. This method takes any type of data for input, but output is always binary, either true or false. Basically, this method allows to determine whether objects are in particular relation or not. Method's feature of taking any data type for input allows full compatibility with eSAFE and PRP, and therefore this method can be easily adapted to our domain. Binary output, in turn, allows to obtain a definitive answer, which in our case, whether a specialist is suitable for a particular role in project or not. The main advantage of proposed solution of the other methods is high objectiveness and full compatibility with proposed frameworks. High objectivity level is achieved by using predicate logic to strictly determine results of all possible cases. Flexibility of predicate logic, in turn, allows to fully adapt method to eSAFE and PRP. All that makes the assessment process formalized and applicable in real projects. It's quite obvious that competences as well as knowledge and skills for some roles may intersect. Moreover, one candidate may meet requirements for several roles. Now we proceed with an example of our approach. Assume that we are looking for a person for QA manager position, which requires 4 competences: ICT quality, strategy development, on the 4th level of competence, risk management, 3rd level, process improvement, 4th level, and ICT quality management on 4th level. We examined 2 employees as candidates to fulfill requirements for this position. Employee 1 has knowledge X1 and skills Y2 and Y3. Employee 2 has knowledge X2 and skills Y1, Y2, and Y3. We start testing with first competence, ICT quality strategy development. In order to have this competence on level 4, employee needs to have knowledge X2 and skill Y3, and one of the following 3 combinations, X1 and Y2, or X1 and X3, or Y1 and Y2. They see that for employee 1, first condition is not fulfilled, and therefore they don't have that competence. For employee 2, condition 1 and condition 2 are satisfied, and therefore they have competency 2 on level 4. The same way we need to check other 3 competences for employee 2. They see that they have 3rd level of competence risk management, 4th level of competence process improvement, and 4th level of competence ICT quality management. In order to fit to the role, the employee must have competency 2 on level 3 and competency 4 on level 4, and either of 2 conditions, C1 on level 3 and C3 on level 4, or vice versa, C1 on level 4 and C3 on level 3. They see that all conditions are satisfied, and result is that employee 2 fits the role for QA manager. On that slide, we see the obvious case where some skills and knowledge can be required by different positions. Like in this case, where process improvement competence is required by both QA manager and business analyst positions. However, our knowledge and skill sets for those positions are different. Team management system, an information system software that automates processes associated with life cycle of project teams. It can be a separate system or part of a project management system. On the slide, you may see differences between various types of systems and their functionality. This slide presents use case diagram of software to be developed. It includes employees on different levels of the company hierarchy. For instance, C-level managers, mid-level managers, and employees with their respective duties. The class diagram for conceptual model of the software is presented on that slide. And on this slide, we define software system architecture. It provides Firebase data server with a rich Android client. The team formation process can be seen on this slide, and the process terminates when team is approved. On this slide, you see the technologies which were used for development of our MVP, and you may see the software tool prototype interface on that slide. And this slide lists conclusions, and thank you for your attention.